Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And you know how on Instagram, I always talk about how I read these inspirational quotes? Well, now a ton of you are sending me these inspirational quotes. A bunch of you on a regular basis are sending me your favorite inspirational quote or something that really means something to you. And late last night, Tia, who watches all my channels, hey Tia, how are you? I asked her if I could share that she sent this to me. She tagged me or sent me this inspirational quote last night, and I loved this quote. And so I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to turn around and make a Peterisms video about this. So depending on the shortness or the length of this video, I'm going to read hers and respond. Or it's not from her, but it's something that she found online. And I want to read it to you guys and tell you guys my thoughts about it. But I might go in because and read you guys the last couple Instagram quotes that I have that I've screenshot to keep to myself. So what I'm doing now is I go through Instagram and I screenshot inspirational quotes. I don't always share them on Instagram. I go through it and I screenshot inspirational quotes that I can go back to and I can refer to that means something to me. Sometimes I write them in my journal if there's something that I really want to remember. Other times I just keep screenshots of them. And then when I'm really struggling or going through something in my personal life, it's a good way for me to go back to that, and then it kind of reminds me, and it's like a reset button, you know? I think, you know, I've talked about this for years, is that I have this toolbox of tools that I use, you know, and helping me to stay clean and sober, to stay right-sized, to stay humble, to think about the world in a different way, to try to be a better, kinder person on a daily basis, to continue to grow and things like that. And so that's all part of it, right? And if these little inspirational quotes that I screenshot off of Instagram or other places online help me and are part of my toolbox, and I think that's a great thing. So let's get into this this post that Tia sent me last night. So the post is from Ashley Monn, and it says, "The thing is, ... Here it is right here. I know you can't see. Whenever I show them the phone, nobody can see it. The thing is, I've been the nice girl. I've been the kind girl. I've been the loving girl. I've been the giving girl. I've been the forgiving girl. I've been the accepting girl. And I will still be that girl. But I am no longer going to be that girl for the people that do not appreciate it, respect it, or deserve it." By Ash Taylor. And you know, I really, really love this statement because this is really the epitome of setting boundaries. And the idea that, you know, once we start setting boundaries, I want to read it again to you guys, okay? Because I think it's so profound. The thing is, I've been the nice girl. I've been the kind girl. I've been the loving girl. I've been the giving girl. I've been the forgiving girl. I've been the accepting girl. And I will still be that girl. But I am no longer going to be that girl for the people that do not appreciate it, respect it, or deserve it. And I think the reason why I love this quote so much is because, like I said, it epitomizes setting boundaries. But I think that one of the struggles that we really go through when we decide that we're going to start being healthy and set boundaries and limits in our life is that we feel bad for it. Like, I can remember when I started setting boundaries and limits with people that were toxic in my life. And this would be, like, one of the reasons why. Like, I would feel like I have been everything that you want me to be. Like, I have been the kind person, the nice person. I've been forgiving. Like, you never ask me about myself. You're disrespectful to me. Like, the things you want from me, the things you demand of me in a friendship or a relationship, you aren't even willing to give 1/8 of. And yet I continue to tolerate it. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm willing to take scraps in a relationship. I had for years and years and years, not just a romantic relationship, but friendships, you know? Relationships with coworkers. You know, for years and years and years, people just throw me scraps of a relationship and I was willing to take it. And then there was one day where I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And it didn't start overall. I would love to sit here and tell you that one day I woke up and I was like, that's it. I think that's how we show it in movies and stuff like that. Like, that's it. I'm done, right? Like, with everybody. But that's not really how it happened. It was really with one person that had disrespected me for years and years and years and years on end. And even then, I was kind of like, hey, like, you know, like, some of the things, because I'd never said it before, you know, this is years ago. Like, some of the things you say kind of, like, hurt my feelings, and are kind of just, what are you talking about? Well, I'm just saying, like, some of the things, it was, like, the first time, right? And the second time they did it again, like, 2 hours later, I was like, that kind of hurts my feelings, you know? And then 20 times later, I was kind of like, you know what? I'm really not going to allow you to continue to speak this way to me. I'm not going to allow it, right? What do you mean? I was joking. And then I'm like, are they joking? I'm like in my head, like, are they joking? You know? And then, what's wrong with you? You've like changed. You're crazy. Then that was the other thing, right? Was that if I started setting boundaries and limits for myself to protect myself, then I was accused of being crazy. That I was changing into something that wasn't normal. That I had too high of expectations. I shouldn't expect those things from people. Like I shouldn't expect decent human respect from another person. That I shouldn't expect that somebody treat me the way that I treat them, which is literally the golden rule, right? That I shouldn't expect that people speak to me nicely and kindly, you know? That people can be critical of me, but they can speak to me kindly. Like that's too far reaching, right? And I would ask for those simple things from people, and it was too much. Well, those people are not in my life today. That's their loss, not mine, right? But one of the reasons why I love this statement so much is that Tia sent me is because what it implies is I think that when we go through it, we feel like we have to be this with everybody. And I think it's this internal challenge that we struggle. Like if I start setting limits with one person, then I'm going to start setting limits with everybody, and I can't be that. That's not true at all. You're going to meet a lot of people in your life that are fully respectful of you and that are loving and kind for you. And all of those good parts of yourself that you want to share with somebody don't have to be diminished because of 1 to 5 people in your life that don't appreciate it. They're just not the recipients of that anymore. But all of those giving, loving sides of yourself can continue to flourish with other people. Find people that will appreciate it. You know, and if you can't find people, get a pet. Give all of that givingness and lovingness to a pet, you know, or a neighbor or somebody out there, you know what I mean? But you have a lot to give. Everybody has a lot to give. There's no reason why that has to diminish parts of ourselves. We don't, like, I think that's the misconception that if I start setting limits and boundaries in my life, then I'm going to turn into, I'm going to be a bitch, right? You know? It's like my friend Tanya says that all the time. She's like, you know, when I started setting limits and boundaries with people in my life, then all of a sudden I was a bitch, right? Because they didn't want me to set limits and boundaries anymore. She's like, no, I'm not a bitch. To all these people over here that love me, you just perceive that as bitchiness because I'm setting a firm limit and boundary with you and you don't know what to do with it and you can't handle it. And that sounds like a you issue, not a me issue, right? But see, even when we stand up for ourselves, and I think this is also like, you know, a double standard in society. I think that when you stand up for yourself, like to a lot of people it's seen, you know, as confident, but to a lot of other people it's seen as being bitchy and whiny and complaining, right? And so that goes, I think, a lot in life too. I've never been seen as a confident person. Never. Like I struggle with that, right? So I basically beg for people, you know, I have in my past. I don't today. That's why my circle is so small. Because I'm not going to beg for people to be nice to me. If I have to beg for somebody to be nice to me, then they don't need to be in my life. So I wanted to share that one with you, but let me go in here and read some other quotes that I have screenshot off of here. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can find some. Where are you at, quotes? Where are you at, inspirational quotes? Here's one. Let's see what this one. To reclaim your authenticity, you have to become okay with being seen as too much. I think I just read this in another video the other day. Too big or too intense to some people. Being okay with being misperceived is a sign that you're more committed to listening to your heart than conforming what others want you to be. And I love this so much, right? You know, for years and years and years, people would say things to me like, I always remember this story because I think it's such a good example of how I felt the majority of my life, you know? When I was in graduate school, I was working, you know, in a treatment facility, and I had a coworker that I was with, and we were really close at work. Like, and I thought she was, like, I really respected her. She was like a year older than me, and I really respected her a lot. And I remember we were both, like, at brunch on, like, a Saturday afternoon, and, like, I was with some friends, and she was with, like, a study group, right? And it was, like, after there or whatever. And the place it was Cafe Patashu in Broad Ripple. It was, like, the Illinois Street one, if you guys know what I'm talking about, Indianapolis. It's very loud. They call them, what do they call, adult union halls. It's very loud in there, okay? And the place was packed. And she was like 4 tables over from me, right? And like we both caught each other's eyes. And I was like, hey, how are you? Like, and I said it just like that. And she goes, and she shushed me. And I was like, I was so embarrassed in that moment. And I should have been embarrassed for her, but I was embarrassed for myself. I was like, oh my God, I was too loud, you know? I would love to be in a restaurant some now and somebody be like, oh my God, Peter, it's so good to see you. Because I'm under the belief, like Toni Morrison, that when a child walks in a room and they want to see, do your eyes light up? When I walk in a room, I want to see somebody's eyes light up, even as an adult, you know? I don't want to see somebody shush me. I want to see somebody's eyes light up. I want somebody to be excited about me. There is no phone call. There is no business meeting. There is nothing that's important. I don't care if you're sitting there with 3 of the most people in the entire world. There is nothing that's more important than somebody that you love walking into a room and getting excited to see them. And if you can't feel that way, then maybe you don't love them that deeply. Or maybe they don't love you that deeply, you know? But my whole life, I felt like if I wear this, it's too loud, it's too weird. If I listen to my music, they don't like this. Everything about me. It's like, and then one day I just was like, I have to live by who my soul is, you know? I have to be too much. Life is too short, you know? Be yourself, be too much. You have one life. Wear everything that you want to wear. Listen to the music that you want to listen to. Don't be forgiving about it, you know? Or don't be, like, asking for forgiveness for it. You don't need to ask for forgiveness for being yourself, you know? Never give up on yourself. You're all you got. You know, isn't that the Janis Joplin saying? Something like that. You know, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, there's only going to be one you in this world, okay? What a boring world it would look like if all of us looked and acted like everybody else. There is only one you. Celebrate that. There will never be another person. I'm looking right at you as you're watching this video, okay? Whatever unique stories there are about you, whatever pain you've gone through, whatever wounds you have, turn them into wisdom. Whatever things you've done that are accomplishments, celebrate them. Whatever clothes your soul wants you to wear, or music that your soul wants you to listen to, do that. Be too much always. There is only one you. Celebrate. There will never be on this planet another you. There won't. So celebrate it. And let others celebrate it too with you. There will be those people that don't like you, and that's okay. They don't have to be part of your journey. And there will be others out there that will adore you, admire you, and love you, and be excited that you are part of their journey. You have to pick which people you want to be with. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.